Virginia Symphony players, under the direction of guest conductor Daniel Heggie, took the stage May 4th at Regent University's Performing Arts Center for A Little Night Music. Eine kleine Nachtmusik is certainly among Mozart's most familiar compositions, but heard live, its lively strains are earthier and more joyful, with greater depths in the cellos and basses. The first movement, Allegro, was very fluid and energetic. In the second, Romance, Heggie was teasing out the nuances. The minuetto had great clarity in the violins. Heggie was conducting without baton, just using his hands to shape the music in the air. In the final rondo, he used hands, face, even eyebrows to communicate and urge forward. Concertmaster Von Armstrong was the soloist for Cuatro Estaciones Porteñas, The Four Seasons of Buenos Aires, by the great Argentinian composer Astor Piazzolla, known for his brilliant and challenging tangos. This suite of four tangos was imaginatively arranged by Russian composer Leonid Desyatnikov to provide a companion work for Vivaldi's Four Seasons. The first movement, Fall, had buzzy cricket sounds with repeated, very striking glissandos upward. After cellist Michael Daniels' long romantic solo, the violin took over again with percussive bow strikes, then triads up to high, piercing harmonics, then swooping down and sliding into the orchestra. The violins punctuated things with swift sweeps of sound before an abrupt ending. The seasons in the southern hemisphere are reversed, so winter had a sultry melody in the low strings, then Armstrong's rhythmic questions and statements. The energy changed suddenly, and a ghostly glissando descended into rhythm, a walking line of bass notes wittily quoted Pachelbel with pizzicato variations and Daniel's cello. It was utterly charming. For spring, there was a limpid melody and Armstrong's almost blues violin, with passion and soul, then dazzling fireworks against abrupt chords in the strings, ending with a quote from Vivaldi. The final movement, Summer, was hot and spicy with some winter Vivaldi. Remember, the seasons are reversed. There were low tensions in the strings, with Armstrong's violin soaring in lovely melody overhead, unmistakably Piazzolla. The violins had a high, weird glissando, eerie against the melody. Armstrong was fast, coruscating in a striking glissando into silence. The audience erupted. In the second half, Heggie took up the baton for Robert Schumann's Symphony No. 1 in B-flat major, Opus 38. It opened with a brass fanfare, then humming strings, and lyrical flutes sang of imminent spring. The second movement was melodic, with big sweeps of strings, gentle pizzicato, and the first violins and basses underscored an attractive melody. Strong rhythms and melodic statements were highlighted by Patty Carlson's brilliant clarinet and the wonderful flutes of Deborah Wendell-Cross and Joann White. The very lively scherzo led into the dramatic last movement, which Schumann had originally called Spring in Full Bloom. But as captivating as the Schumann and Eine kleine Nachtmusik were, what riveted me was the Piazzolla Four Seasons. That's the thing about live music. It's not necessarily about what you go to hear, but rather it's what you hear when you go that makes the journey worthwhile. From the other side of the Footlights, I'm M.D. Ridge.